And we are back for the granddaddy of them all, the third period. The Marauders have an overwhelming lead in the shots, 54-23, but the have not been what you'd expected. Only 3-1, so plays out of the Marauders, a couple of good plays out of the Mountain Hawks offense, and they are right back in things. So, despite how the game has been going, physicality-wise, passing-wise, pretty much everything else was numbers for-wise, the Marauders should be dominating this one, but they're really not. So, they got to play 20 more minutes of sound defense and keep playing their offensive game. Maybe sink a few more shots, but I'm being nitpicky. Just they got to keep that sound defense. Rely on Rusnock. He's only faced 23 in 40 minutes. They've been doing a good job at not even letting the puck get to Rusnock. So if they can keep it for their 20, we'll be sailing out of here with a win. Ugh. And UPenn Drexel, 5-1, still in the first intermission there. I'll give you a heads up when that one starts again in the second period. And I believe no confirmation from Scranton. The stream was just missing afterwards. They're up 3-0 going into the second intermission, so I'm just kind of assuming Scranton won. And then no updates on the Seton Hall and Stockton game. And also St. Joe's played Newman in a non-conference game, but again, that doesn't really affect much standings-wise. A lot of action today, a lot of action tomorrow. That's what the last weekend of the season will do for you. And this last period of this game will kick off momentarily. Who else in the face-off but Walter O'Connell? O'Connell wins it quickly, kicks back to Martin, who defers to Bell. Bell will send it down. Rings on the back ice, deflection in front of Wilga. Can't be corralled by a Marauder man. Stand up. My feet hurt. I'll have a chair tomorrow in Philly and a little desk. That'll be nice. Never not appreciate the press box, folks. It's very, very nice. O'Connell and Martin absolutely destroy a man in the corners there. Big hit laid by the Marauders. Tired up here, but they're not on the ice. Ryder and Martin staying with it. Trying to get past Rusnock here. Picked up by Ryder. Ryder will send it across ice. Slapped out of play by O'Connell. It'll ring off the Phantoms logo on the backboards for an icing call on the black and gold. They lead in the shots 30. They lead 55-25. 3-1 on the board. 19:05 left to go in regulation. It'll be a stick-side draw of Gavin Rusnock upcoming, putting on a show for the home crowd of his. One by Lehigh. Quick look in on Rusnock. Wide. Lehigh keeping the pressure on. Zerko looks to clear, but can't. Controlled by Volk. Volk behind the back leave. Ripped in. Gloved by Rusnock. Again, he hasn't had a start since... Now, Bell was Newman. I believe Rusnock was the Drexel game before that. So he hasn't played in probably around a month or a little, about a half a month. But yeah, it's been a long time since Gavin Rusnock's been in between the poles in a live game, and he's been looking sharp. Shot rings above him, and Karilko controls. Karilko sends it in, no one home. On the centering pass attempt, Volk picks up the rebound, but loses it quickly to Zerko. Zerko back out to Petticone, left for Karilko. Karilko back into the center. Bouncing puck, can't be controlled by anyone and leaks into the neutral zone where Karilko will pick it up. Bird and Stromberg harassing the men, or their men in their defensive zone. Lehigh coming back with it, ripped in on Rusnock, deflection for Volk. Volk just hits the far netting of Rusnock. Rusnock had to do a cartwheel to cover his net there. Thankfully, he throws Wolf off the scent and keeps him to the goal off the boards. A very crucial goal, might I add, off the boards for Lehigh. Stromberg staying with it, has Bird and Zerko behind him, and Petticone blocking the rebound. Falls to Petticone there, picks it up at center ice. Dunnigan backs off. Petticone and Bird go in. Petticone closed off, takes it himself. Petticone goes top shelf, tries to get past Wilga, leaves it a little high and wide. Desperation pass gets out to Schindler as Petticone exits the game. And in comes Rysack. He's off to hustles down for not and snows his man for good measure as Millersville gets tagged for icing. 17:27 left to go. Shots read 55-30. 3-1 in goals. Millersville just controlling this game. Would have really liked to see, Coach Schroeder and the fans would really like to see a little more goal production. But again, I'm not one to complain about a 2-goal lead, so I'll just shut up now. Little behind the leg snap for Rysack. Finds his way to Bird. Bird back cross ice feed to Rysack. Turned around. Close range shot wide by Altvader. Millersville staying with it. It's Carey. Carey works up far ice to Bieber. Bieber. Shot deflected as he shoots it. Lehigh coming right back with it. Man blows a tire, leaving Lehigh a man down. That is Brandon Gow losing his footing momentarily and sliding into the Marauders bench. Tries to go around the world, a bit of a Michigan on Rusnock, denied by his post. Rusnock will chase it down. Good hops by the official, getting out of the way of that puck. 16:40 remaining in regulation. Lehigh chasing 2. Another good miss by the official there. Arms go up. Good instincts. Martin attempts to break out, loses it as he looks to make the pass to Bieber. Gets to it anyway, and Bieber ends up with it, so pretty cool. Martin staying with it. Corelli looking to back him up in central ice. Can't do it. Fans on the pass. Gets past Bell. Breakaway attempt for Lehigh fruitless as they cannot catch up to it. That is Finn Burke attempting to chase the loose puck down. Tomaskovitz controls, works to the blue ice. Shot on Rusnock, gets nowhere near him. Tomaskovitz goes up on his tiptoes to make the block, but it gets to Slaybaugh. As Sinicola will chase Slaybaugh down, his D zone. Martin needs to throw the brakes and get to it. Martin falls to a knee. That hurt my knee just looking at it there for Thor Martin, but he's a limber lad. He's all right. Martin will control, looking for an open pass. Tries to feed it to Kopshow, but leaves it way in front of him. Icing laid off. Lehigh kind of confused why. Well, me up here too, but I won't complain. Wilkinson tied up, takes it from behind, but giving out the hits of his own. 15.5 minutes left for Lehigh to get 2 past Rusnock. Wilkinson pokes it through. Him and Slaybaugh look to break out. Slaybaugh stopped by Tomaskovitz. Kopshow breaks it out, chips it over, and frees up Slaybaugh to head to the bench. 15 minutes left to go for Lehigh. Out to Sinicola in neutral ice, working in on Dunnigan. Dunnigan turned around. Wilkinson and Dunnigan trying to block it up. It falls to Ryder. Ryder breaks it out, or attempts to. Leaves for the captain, Dunnigan. Dunnigan slips it man. Back to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, really good behind the back pass. Just a little much for O'Connell to control. No icing is the call as Ryder wins the foot race back to Wilga's posts. Neutral ice duel. No one can stick it cleanly. Fanned on by O'Connell. Tries to break it out. Gets to Petticone. Petticone leaves it behind Ryder, where it's picked up by Altvader. Altvader, shot deflected. Rings off the back wall behind Rusnock. Picked up by Petticone. Petticone tries to feed Morgan. He will. Works it around him. Morgan and Petticone try to get in. Excuse me, Morgan and O'Connell try to get in. Altvader from the blue line, trying to spark some life into this Lehigh attack. He cannot. It's O'Connell and Morgan coming in. O'Connell throws the brakes, tries to leave for Petticone. Why do I keep saying Petticone? That's Stromberg. Back out to Rysack. He'll have to run it back with Schindler. Rusnock controls in the corner boards. Takes his time in no rush. Back out to Schindler. Schindler, cross-ice feed, looking for Bird in front of him. And that one will get an icing call. Marauders up 20 in the shots and 2 in the goals with 13:25 left to go in regulation. And with 16 left in the second, UPenn nets another. They're up 6-1 on Drexel. Definitely mad about that overtime loss or suffered them in November. And again, fighting for their lives in the playoffs. Fighting for their lives in the playoffs. So Drexel will need to beat us tomorrow if that result holds. And count on UPenn losing to Seton Hall, which I don't like the chances of. So if things go by chalk, UPenn looks to sneak into the playoffs after a lackluster regular season campaign. They play their best hockey right at the end of the season, and they look to sneak into the Colonial Cup playoffs where they've made their money in recent years. Missed out on it last year, but they won the previous two before that. So get UPenn in the playoffs. They're a dangerous outfit. They still have some of that championship blood left. So definitely nothing to sneeze at being the 6th seed. But they'll most likely need to take on Scranton in the first match. So Scranton, UPenn, us Stockton. That'll be an electric first round of hockey from Lancaster Ice Rink. Cannot wait. Bell's pass intercepted by Lynch. Lynch, spinorama, rings it around the corner boards for Martin. Martin has a streaking man in the middle, leaves it for Bird. Bird controls. Again, Marauders offense, not much of a hurry to get things going here. They don't really need to be. Stromberg slips the tackle, gets through. Has Bird down low. Goes to Zerko, leaves for Bell. Bell rips it back in, denied by Wilga. 12-20 left in regulation as Bell sticks it at center ice for Martin. Martin to Zerko. Zerko leaves for either Martin or Bell. It's going to be Bird. Ends up getting neither. Has a stick duel in front of us. Comes up Lehigh's way for just a second before Millersville controls again as Martin sends it down for Bird. Bird tries to evade his man behind Wilga's back. He can for a second. Bieber comes to back him up. And Petticone entering the game will need to immediately backtrack with his captain Dunnigan. As Zerko will head to the bench. And Carey will enter the fray. Ripped in, deflected by Carey immediately. Played out to Corelli. Corelli and Dunnigan get in quickly. Full extension save. Keeps Corelli off the boards. Wilga has faced 57 shots so far. And he's saved 54 of them. But his offense has only been able to muster one goal off 36 shots at the Millersville goaltender Rusnoff. 11:33 left for Lehigh to chase two. It'll be O'Connell. And on the draw for Millersville. Slayball wins it. Sent back in. Denied by the stick of Wilga. Sent off to the periphery for Petticone. Sent in, nearly deflected in by a combination of Slayball and Bieber. Neither find Pater, however, as Tomaskovitz breaks out. Tomaskovitz comes in with Sinicola. Open shot for Burke in front of Rusnock's goal. Can't get it to go. As the clock ticks to 11 minutes left in regulation, the Marauders sniffing their 60th shot on Wilga. Slayball holds his man up on the boards, frees it for Slayball, nearly close to rebound. His stick gets tied up. If his stick wasn't in a bunch with his man, would have had a tap-in goal on Wilga right there. Rysack will chase it down. Has his man Schindler behind him, but it goes to Schindler. Has his man Schindler behind him, and says goes to Slayball. Waters tries to close off a passing lane. Schindler controls. 10:30 left to go for Millersville. Just looking to hold on for the last sixth of this game. But again, 10 minutes, an eternity of time to net 2 goals if Lehigh can get some decent plays together. A lot of words coming out of the bench after that physical, tough play in the corner. Waters comes away with it. Waters rips it high. Wilkinson looks to collect the rebound, sending it in. Wilkinson again gets leveled, and he's right back on his feet. Owen Wilkinson. Tough guy of the day. 10:01 left for the Marauders to hold out here. They lead in the shot 61-37, and still 3-1 in the goals. It'll be Slayball again, and on the draw for Millersville. Morgan chases his man down, takes 3-on-1 behind Wilkes back, and Morgan receives a big hit behind the back of Wilgo. He's ready for the tap-in deflection, but it goes just behind him. O'Connell chases it down in the corner, tries to work it out to Bell. Leaves it for Ryder. Ryder, low-lying shot, gloved off the ice by Wilga. His 63rd shot he's faced. Marauders still up 3-1. Wilkinson will be back in. Oh, wow. It's 8-1 UPenn now. They just will not take the skates off the gas as Morgan rips it in, nearly put back in by Alan Ryder, but no such luck. But the luck comes not soon after, as Millersville nets their 4th of the evening and takes a commanding lead. Looks like it was Thor Martin's 2nd of the night, as he scores the 2nd and the 4th all evens for Thor Martin this evening, as Millersville takes a 4-1 lead with 9.5 left to go. Lehigh needs a major confidence correction here early on. Actually, late on. They need to dig deep for the last 9 minutes. Millersville hoping they don't. Sinicola is still skating hard. She works out to Tomaskovich. Tomaskovich sends it into the center. Nobody home for Lehigh. Millersville back out. Bird plays off the back netting to Martin. Martin trying to find Stromberg. Can't. Bell collects it in no man's land off a sliding challenge from Sinicola. 9 minutes left to go. Bird slips a tackle, but loses the puck. Gets past his man just fine, but doesn't hold on to the rubber. Back out to Bell. Bell and Martin back ice. Bell evades his man. Gets into the D zone of Lehigh. Gets through. Beautiful stick work out of Ben Bell. Takes it 99% of the way, but is denied by Wilga. At the last moment, the 65th shot, number 1 is faced for Lehigh. He's let in 4. 8:43 remaining. Face off from the glove side of Wilga, coming up for Millersville. 1 and just kind of squirts past everybody and finds Wilga again. So don't move, boys. You're right back there. It'll be John Waters in on the face-off again for Millersville. Obviously heard me and said, that's not right. Give it to Corelli. Or don't give it to Carey. Okay, sure. Someone take it. Carey ready for it. Obviously good choice. Carey wins it. Dunnigan rips in. Denied by Wilga's pads and picked up by Petticone in the corner boards. Petticone tries to feed Bird down low. Evades a skate on the ground. Again, dangerous how no one gets cut up on those things. I never understand it. Bieber and Corelli harass the men in the D zone. As Lehigh looks to break in, looking for something on Rusnock. They won't find it here. As it works out to Bieber. Bieber weakly works it across the ice for Corelli. Corelli has Carey down low, takes it himself, tries to go far side. On Wilga, cannot. Deflection attempt by Carey. Little close on Wilga. Marauders looking for their 70th shot. They're 2 away. Back out to Carey. Can't control it. Picked up by Jake Petticone. Carey rings it around, though. Looking for Corelli. Carey picks it up. Runs into the zone by himself. Dishes to Kopshow. Kopshow denied by a host of Mountain Hawk jerseys. Rysack looks to play it off the boards. Gets sandwiched into the boards. They can't catch up to the puck, but Wilkinson's there to put a skate to it and hold it up momentarily. Lehigh looks to break out. They can't. Shot back in from Kopshow. Keeps Lehigh in their own zone where Connor James need to run around and pick it back up. He will. James looks to break out in the neutral zone. Marauders making sure that does not happen. He leaves it for Burke. Burke into the Marauder zone, blows a tire. And Slaybaugh looking to use his speed. And tie up behind play there. Sticks go flying. A Marauder man on the board. That's Schindler. Getting right into the mix of things with his dancing partner from Lehigh. We're going to see if any penalties will be assessed or say if it's just a one-on-one even thing. Looks like they're walking Schindler to the bench, and they're walking Burke to the opposing penalty box. A pat on the back from Alan Ryder sees Jacob Schindler enter the sin bin with Finn Burke. So we will be offsetting penalties there for probably roughing or something. That got on the scuffle there. Ref's making sure the scorekeeper has his books right. As Slaybaugh fraternizes with the enemy a little bit. It's all right. Good sportsmanship. Posing number 11s chatted up as well. Volk and Wilson. Offsetting 2-minute penalties for Schindler and Burke. So we'll have a little 4-on-4 hockey for the next 2 minutes. A lot of open ice to work with for both sides. This cold's getting to me. I've been fine most of the game, but as that third period creeps on, it starts to get to you. A little less talk over team talks by the 4-on-4 crew. Looks like it'll be Slaybaugh, Rysak, Wilkinson, and Martin out there for Millersville to begin things. Ref still talking things over with Coach Schroeder on the bench. Again, he wants the full explanation. And they're happy to give it to him. It'll be 22s taken on. Slaybaugh takes on Tracy. And Millersville will come away with it as the puck finds the skate of Rusnock. Hasn't had to do much in the past 2 periods. Rysak has a streaking Wilkinson on the far side, takes it himself down low. Leaves for Wilkinson at the last second. Wilkinson wraps it around. Wilga's back. Left for Martin. Martin from that blue line spot he loves, rips it in, and only finds the chest protector of Vilga. Minute 37 left on the offsetting penalties and 6:38 left in regulation as a whole. Lehigh is still chasing those 3 goals. And as time ticks on, it looks less likely they'll get back in it. But again, 7 minutes. Whole lot of time for 3 good bounces to go your way. Wilkinson picks it up right away. Sent way over Wilga's head by Bell, and we'll get a quick reset. Sure, I'll let the cold sit a little more. Thank you, Ben. Back at, oh, wow. 9-1. UPenn, stop. I think you guys have won at this point. They're probably going double digits. They might go double digits accidentally. 9 goals in 2, not even 2 full periods. That ain't a rivalry. I don't know what is. I guess they're reminding Drexel why the seats in there are red and blue and not purple and yellow. 6 minutes left to go in regulation. The Marauders are going to pile on here. Maybe not UPenn piling on, but still looking for a couple insurance goals. As we'll get a little extracurriculars after play, as Wilga will glove it to stop things again. Johnny Morgan issuing threats as normal. 6:14 left to go as the Marauders have gone over 70 shots on Wilga, 71 to be exact. Zerko controls it after the faceoff. Bird will chase it down as we're about 1 minute left and 1 minute in to the 4-on-4 play. Ben Bell, slap shot back in as the stick goes flying and a whistle from our back judge here. Looks like he'll be assessing a cross-checking penalty on one of the Marauders defenders. It's Bird who will get tagged. Getting a little touchy with the stick is Jonah Bird as the Marauders will now be down a man for 58 seconds. Bird pleading his case to the official or just getting a last little licks in. He joins his buddy Shinny in the sin bin, or the shin bin even. Don't know why I didn't think of that a minute ago, but it comes to you eventually. Oh, it's 4-on-3, a whole lot of real estate to work with on the ice. Marauders try not to let Lehigh get any momentum here late on. We don't need one of those late comebacks. And a great save out of Gavin Rusnock. Hasn't had to do really much this period. He is ready, fully going to the ice. And if anyone didn't see it, the Utah Mammoth Carolina Hurricanes game the other day, the Mammoth were down, I believe it was 4-2 with 2 minutes left in regulation. And the men were up 4-2 with 2 left in regulation, and they lost 5-4 in regulation. Just a choke of all proportions to the Hurricanes. They were wearing their Whalers jersey at the time, so it looked even cooler. Again, don't know. Again, an NHL team can blow a 3-goal lead in 2 minutes, so these guys certainly can, but not if Gavin Rusnak is playing like that. Hasn't been able to show off for the home fans too much, but he's getting his opportunities late in this game as he's keeping Lehigh at an arm's length. 13 seconds left of 4-on-3 hockey, and then we'll have a minute 2 of 5-on-4 for Lehigh. Ripped in by Lehigh, punched away by Rusnak. Gets a big cheer from his designated cheering section on the far end of the rink by him. Dunnigan, Ryder, and Stromberg will chase it around. We're below 5 minutes as Stromberg takes a hit in neutral ice. Gonna let that one go. It's all right. Gets back to Lynch. Lynch leaves. Shot from number 15, Finn Burke, goes well wide of its mark. Lynch wants it again. His man will defer. Lehigh really need to pick up the pace if they want to get 3 back. They got a close shot in on Rusnak, but again, turned away and cleared out by Millersville as the initial penalties, the Schindler and Burke have expired. Obviously, Burke's expired since he got the shot in there. And it'll be another 20 seconds left on the Bird cross-check. Once that expires, we'll have 4 minutes left in regulation. Lehigh will need a goal a minute. Well, not a goal a minute, but getting close to it. Stromberg takes on the defense by himself and gets dispossessed by a pair of Mountain Hawks. We are back to even ice as Corelli and Martin will enter the game for Millersville. As we'll get a stoppage, the Marauders jump back out to that 30-shot lead, 72-42, respectively, and 4-1 on the shots. And again, since Will got to face 71 shots, or 72 shots, rather, you kind of forget, Rusnak has faced a decent bit of shots himself. 42 is nothing to sneeze at. He's come up with 41 saves, a lot of them quite impressive. Shot in from Aiden Stromberg. Deflected in the end by Bieber, but I think they're going to give it to Stromberg. Yeah, I'll give it to Stromberg. Good shot, buddy. Well, it's Carey, sorry. 6 looks like an 8. Aiden Carey nets the Marauders their 5th and hopefully puts this one to bed for Millersville. Sorry, folks, it's like 11:30. I'm tired. I'm looking to sleep on that bus ride back home. Aiden Carey takes the face-off after his goal. 3:40 left to go. And now Lehigh needs more than a goal a minute. They need to get multiple things past Rusnak. That deflection nearly did it there. Rusnak keeps his goal clean for the third period so far. Good heads-up play to Gavin Rusnak. Again, kind of sitting there with your hands in your pockets for 15 minutes, and then suddenly, you got all these shots coming at you. Rusnak has been up to the task. Lehigh will chase 4 goals in 3 minutes. For any German soccer fans out there, you know, Robert Lewandowski can do something like that. But I don't know if there's a Robert Lewandowski of soccer on this team, or hockey on this team. Bell collects, again, in no hurry to get it out of the D zone. Schindler feeds Waters, leaves it a little in front of him. As it goes back to Bell. Bell plays between a couple men. A good stick work out of Ben Bell tonight. Really have a great sense of himself, the puck, and everyone else on the ice as he's able to just weave in between any Lehigh defender he seems to want to. 2:30 left to go. Miller's looking to display solid defense and skate out of the Steel Ice Center with a win. Bench liking the physicality laid on. Marauders maybe looking forward to that quiet bus ride back home, but they're certainly still leaving on the ice. Couple spin moves out of Kai Dunnigan, doesn't get the puck, but it looks funny. Good stuff, Kai. I like it. Lehigh going down swinging. They're below 2 minutes. They need 4. Unless they can muster a goal every 30 seconds, they'll be in some trouble. Dunnigan will chase it down behind his hometown man's net. Rusnak plays it back, surveys it. Back out. Kicked out by Lynch there. Kept into the neutral zone. 1.5 minutes left to go. Both sides hope they're just content to skate this out. They're not. Okay, yeah. Respectable. Lehigh not going down without a fight. It's Volk. Works into center ice. Back out to Lynch. Lynch skating it out. Back out to Rosenblum. Rosenblum and Lynch not too keen on jumping on the Marauders defense right now. Sinicola, who's been skating hard this whole game. Definitely my MVP from the Lehigh squad. Sinicola back in on it. Can't redirect it at Rusnak. And we're below 1 minute left to go. As Millersville not going down. They want 6. Sent in Ryder again looking. Ryder's been denied a couple times by fate. Really wanted his goal there, and he still might get it with how they're playing. Ryder will just send it back in. Chased down by Morgan. Morgan back out to Ryder. Dunnigan and Bell. Martin and Bell. Just playing a bit of keep away. In no rush getting in. As we are below 20 seconds left to go in this one as the Marauders will win 3 in a row. Great start to the spring semester for the Marauders. They dropped the first game to St. Joe's, but this squad has been on fire since then. Again, you want to play your best hockey in January in this league, and the Marauders definitely have been doing so. A big momentum win over UPenn. A thrashing of the nearly unbeatable Westchester at home, and then a 4-goal win on the road against Lehigh. The final conference game and the final game of the regular season will be tomorrow at Drexel. And if their play tonight is to be any indicator of how that will go, maybe a 4th win in a row for the Millersville Marauders. And yet, 9-1 second intermission out of Philadelphia. That one is over. Well, that'll do it for today's game from the Steel Ice Center as the Marauders skate away with a 5-1 victory. A big thanks, as always, to Miranda, our bus driver, and her wonderful husband, Mike, for filling in on camera duties. Just a natural pro out there at the camera aspect of things, even giving me tips, making sure my shot was clean. Just a gentleman and a scholar behind the camera. Well, I'm Gary Milbrand, the voice of Millersville Ice Hockey, and I miss you already. Good night. Oh, I'm so tired.